and I think robes would look damn fine on you. Welcome, Mr. Bove. Congratulations on your nomination. Your record is exceptional, prosecuting terrorists and spies and cyber criminals and major traffickers. You've dedicated your career to protecting the American people and upholding the rule of law. Your nomination reflects exactly what our judiciary needs: serious, experienced, rule of law-oriented individuals who understand the limited role of the courts in our constitutional system. You are President Trump's second appellate court nominee in this second term. You and Ms. Hermendorfer, President Trump's first appellate nominee, share the distinction of being tapped to fill appellate seats that remained vacant, not because of delay or inaction, but because President Biden's nominees were simply too extreme for the Senate to confirm them. In your case, the seat had previously been offered to Adil Manji, a nominee whose radical affiliations made clear that he was unfit for the federal bench. Manji was tied to a law center that hosted terrorists, that promoted anti-Semitic rhetoric, and that attacked repeatedly law enforcement. When given the opportunity to repudiate those views, he declined. His nomination failed, and rightly so. Now, rather than own that failure, Democrats are reaching for innuendo, rumor, and political theater. They're trying to paint mainstream Trump nominees as quote-unquote controversial to distract from the fact that their own nominees were so out of step with basic standards of judicial temperament and constitutional fidelity. The contrast is obvious. President Trump is restoring normalcy to the judiciary, nominating judges who will apply the law, who will respect the Constitution, who understand that justice is not a tool for activism. That's especially true and important at the appellate level. Circuit judges serve as a critical check on activist district judges who seek to override national policy and impose their own ideological will. They also stand as a safeguard against prosecutors who are willing to politicize justice. I will say I find myself amused listening to my Democrat colleagues as they clutch their pearls in utter horror that the Department of Justice is deporting violent criminal illegal aliens. Oh my goodness, murderers, rapists, child molesters, Venezuelan gang members, how dare you remove them from America? Don't you know that wife-beating gang members are appropriate to have daiquiris with in El Salvador? Don't you know that America-hating anti-Semites you should dance in celebration with, come back to our campuses and terrorize our Jewish students? That's what the Democrats on this committee stand for. More criminals, more murderers, more rapists, more child molesters, and more Venezuelan gang members. Democrats on this committee got up on their high horse that the MS-13 gang member deported to El Salvador must come back to America. Well, you know what? He did. And he's being prosecuted for human trafficking. I've read every word of the indictment. 10 years of human trafficking with MS-13. This is the poster child for who the Democrats want more of in the United States of America. And somehow, you're the villain because you are a real prosecutor willing to enforce the law and remove dangerous criminals from being in a position to threaten American citizens. Let me say on behalf of 31 million people in Texas, thank you. Thank you for answering the call. Thank you for stepping forward and fighting to keep American citizens safe. Let me ask you, in your view, if you're confirmed as a judge, what is the importance of the Constitution and what is the importance of the rule of law?
Singularly important. The Constitution defines the mechanism for the entire republic. Adherence to it could not be more important. Article 3 and its restraints would guide me in the exercise of judicial power, and I would do everything that I could to enforce the Constitution faithfully based on the rule of law.
So I commend you for that answer. I also commend you for knowing what Article 3 is. I'll point out that President Biden nominated to be an Article 3 judge an individual who did not know what Article 5 of the Constitution was, and stunningly did not know what Article 2 was either. I will say in the annals of unqualified judicial nominees, the Biden administration managed to take the gold, and it is refreshing to have someone who is actually qualified nominated to the court. Thank you.
Madam Chair, before we recess,
Thank
may I
you,
make
Senator
a
Cruz.
parliamentary inquiry?
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair.